Hi all of you, welcome to Irodov series by UNS classes. Today we are going to solve the second problem from the problems in general physics by IE Irodov. See the question. A point traversed half the distance with a velocity v0. The remaining part of the distance was covered with velocity v1 for half the time and with velocity v2 for other half of the time. Find the mean velocity of the point averaged over the whole time of motion. Assume that we are starting from a point. So here from this point the body is starting the motion and going to some distance. Let the total distance between these 2 points is 2d. Okay, total distance is 2d. I mean this distance is 2 times d. And it's given that half of the distance is covered with a velocity v1. That means up to this point. Up to this point, the point is traveling with a velocity v0. A remaining half is covered in 2 equal interval of time, and let t be the first half of time. And during that time the body travels some distance and let that distance is d1. Okay, let that distance is d1, and the second part is again covered with time t during an interval time t, and let the distance be d2. One important thing you have to understand here is d1 plus d2 is going to be d, because first d is already covered. Total distance we are taking it as 2d. Fine. So d1 plus d2 is going to be d. See, this is a problem related to average velocity. Average velocity is total displacement divided by total time taken for the journey. Now, how much is the time taken here? You know that velocity is equal to displacement by time. Let the time taken in this case is t1. Okay. So what is the time t1? T1 is going to be equal to d divided by v0. Fine. Let us go to the next page. So t1 is equal to d by v0. Now, if the body is traveling with a velocity v1 for t seconds, we can say the distance covered d1 is going to be equal to v1 multiplied by t. Then the remaining distance d2 is covered with v2 velocity for a time t. So the total displacement will be v2 into t. And you know that d1 plus d2 is going to be equal to d, which is equal to, we can say that v1 plus v2 multiplied by time t. Fine. See, from here we can find out the time. The time taken is going to be equal to d divided by v1 plus v2. Let it be there. Now we have to come to the equation for average velocity. What is average velocity? Average velocity, V average, is going to be equal to the total displacement by total time taken. Fine. What is the total displacement? 2 times d. Okay, 2 times d divided by, what is the total time taken? Total time taken is t1 plus 2t. Fine. Substitute all the values. You have t1 is d by v0 and t is given as d by v1 plus v2. Substitute everything, that's all. So V average is equal to 2d divided by t1. What is t1? d divided by v0 plus 2t, 2 multiplied by, what is t? T is nothing but d divided by, previously you have seen that, see, d divided by v1 plus v2. So d divided by V1 plus V2. Fine, you have to solve this. First of all, d we can take common from here, d will get cancelled out. Or when you are solving this, you can see that 2d or 2 divided by, see 1 by V0, 1 by V0 plus 2 by V1 plus V2. Solve this, see how much will be the answer, is equal to 2 multiplied by V0 multiplied by V1 plus V2 divided by denominator, you will get V1 plus V2 plus 2 V0 is the final answer. So V average is going to be equal to 2 V0 multiplied by V1 plus V2 divided by V1 plus V2 plus 2 V0. I hope all of you understood this problem. Thank you.